Hey everyone, welcome to day 2 of 14 lines in 14 days. Today we're riding on the T2 Leppington and Inner West line, starting at Redfern, going all the way down to Glenfield, stopping at stations at Clyde and Casula. Without further ado, let's get started. And as per usual, of course, once I arrived at Redfern, something did have to happen. Apparently someone dropped something on the tracks, so the driver had to stop the train ahead of the platform 3, and the guard for the platform had to collect the keys from the driver to ensure the safety of when they go onto the track to retrieve it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get video of the item being retrieved. However, I was able to get video, of course, as seen here, of the keys being given back to the driver. So that's quite interesting, but without further ado, let's get our train towards Leppington. So I'll be on this train all the way down to Clyde station, where I'll be taking a look around there, and also on the way we're going past Auburn, so I'm going to try my best to see if I can see the new CAFCivity train and also the new Suburban Oscar H set.
Next stop, Newtown. This station is Ashfield.
Now, on the day of filming this, it was already quite heavy with rain. However, it actually got really heavy at Burwood, so I decided to take a few videos of the platform and whilst we were leaving it, as it was quite heavy, to be honest, and probably I would say the heaviest it got that day.
Okay, like, and then all of a sudden, wash away all the crap. Wash away all the crap. Huh? Yeah, I know.
The rain actually got too heavy, which ended up covering up the window with a whole lot of water. However, it did slow down a bit towards Lidcombe, and I was able to get a bit of footage out the window towards Lidcombe station and a little bit after, and of course at Auburn to see the CAFCivity and Suburban H set.
Next stop, Auburn. Next stop, Clyde. The next train to arrive on platform 5 goes to Parramatta. First stop, Granville.
We've now made it to Clyde. Now it's time to do some train spotting and take a look around. After walking up the stairs, I remembered that Clyde was one of the only stations on the network that actually had these old sort of elevator things that were used on stairs. I do not believe this is in use anymore, however, do correct me if it is in use. I decided to head down to platforms 3 and 4 to take a better look at the station, as it's located in the middle of the entire station, as well as also some V-sets that were set to come past, which I wanted to get a few videos of.
Please stand behind the yellow line. The next train to arrive on platform 4 goes to City. The next train to arrive on platform 3 does not stop at this platform. Please stand behind the yellow line. Please stand clear.
I then went to the Granville end of Clyde Station, which is one of the shortest distances between stations on the network, with Walleye Creek and Tempe having number 1 for the shortest distance. Another thing as well is that Clyde used to be the terminus for the old T6 Carlingford line before it was closed in 2020 to be converted to light rail. I was pretty much finished with looking at the station and was just about to head over to platform 5 just after this train departed here. Another thing I was also going to take a look at, which you'll see in a second, is what would have been platform 6, but is actually now used as a turnback for trains coming out of Auburn Maintenance Centre. Clyde is one of the few stations that has more than one disused platform, with platform 1 being the former Carlingford Line terminus.
The train on platform 5 goes to Livingston. First stop, Granville, then all stations to Liverpool, then Casula, Glenfield, Edmondson Park, and Leppington.
Something I thought which would be pretty cool is to record the distance between Granville and Clyde, so I decided to film the entire journey between the two stations and just to see how long it was.
Next stop, Granville. Please help to keep your trains clean by taking your rubbish with you and disposing of it thoughtfully. Thank you. This train will stop at Granville.
Not that long, only been about 60 seconds or so. I decided to take a bit of a break and just sit back and enjoy the journey, as I haven't really been out this much before going down towards the area of Merrylands. I've only been there around once or twice before, and it's been my first time in quite a number of years, so I wanted to take a look at the scenery and decided not to record that section. I did, however, get some video of the journey down towards Liverpool, then on through to Casula.
This train will stop at Yennora.
We also went past what was one of the final suburban level crossings left on the network, excluding the Richmond branch. And we're now at Casula. The train that I just got off of was about 7 minutes late, so I didn't have long until the next Leppington service, so I decided just to wait for about 6 or 7 minutes to catch the next T2 service towards Leppington. Casula Station is definitely one of the more remote stations on the network. However, I've always had a special thing for Casula Station. I've always found it to be really relaxing, and also especially because of the fact that they have high speeds located near the station. The station was upgraded a few years ago, which meant that new lifts were included as well as a new footbridge, as the freight line to the right of the screen was introduced a bit later on. There's also some remnants of old buildings located around Casula Station. And that sums up day 2 of 14 lines in 14 days for the T2 Leppington and Inner West line. I got off the train at Glenfield and changed for a service on the T8 line back home, and thankfully I remained quite dry despite the heavy rain. Also taking a look at the donations for Aspect Australia, which is the charity that I'm raising money for during this 14 lines in 14 days series, we've now raised well over $700, which I heavily appreciate, and thank you to everyone for donating. If you'd like to donate to Aspect Australia, or even just donate a few dollars, it would really much be appreciated, as anything can help. Thank you all so much for watching day 2 of the series, and I'll see you all tomorrow on day 3.